Before we begin, I invite you to settle into stillness. Let your shoulders drop. Let the breath soften. What you're about to hear is more than a story. It is a doorway, one that leads into the ancient wisdom of the Austrian mountains and into the quiet truth of your own nervous system. This tale, The Three Breaths of the Mountain, carries lessons woven from healing, forgiveness, and the deep remembrance of who we truly are. And as the story unfolds, you may find that something within you loosens, something old, something heavy, something ready to be released. Listen not only with your mind, but with your whole being. Let the words move through you like wind across alpine snow. And when the tale is past, stay for the reflection that follows, a gentle guide into abundance, inner safety, and the wealth that begins in your breath. Now, breathe in, breathe out, and step with me into the story.
In the heart of the Austrian Alps, far above the murmuring rivers and below the ancient crown of the Untersberg, there once stood a small village wrapped in pine and mist. And in that village lived a healer named Leonharda, a woman whose presence felt less like a person and more like a quiet sunrise. The villagers said she carried the wisdom of the mountains in her breath, and when she walked, even the snow softened beneath her feet. One winter, when the nights grew long and the wolves wandered close, a weary mother arrived at her door. She carried a young daughter in her arms, pale and trembling, as though an invisible weight pressed against her small chest. The mother's voice broke as she pleaded, "Please, they told me you heal what no physician can name. My daughter is fading. None of the herbs, none of the prayers, none of the medicines have helped her." Leonharda looked at the child for a long, still moment. Then she said softly, "Your daughter has lost the three breaths." The mother did not understand, but something in Leonharda's tone, calm, ancient, certain, quieted her fear. Leonharda beckoned her to follow, not into her cottage, but outside into the cold twilight. Snowflakes drifted slowly from the sky. The mountains glowed blue and silver, and there, beneath the open sky, Leonharda laid the girl on a bed of soft snow. She placed a hand above the child's heart and whispered, "First breath, release what was never yours to carry." A gentle wind stirred in the silence. A soft current of air swept across the child's face. Her fingers twitched, her lips parted, and a faint exhale left her lungs. An exhale not of weakness, but of relief. It was the release of a burden that had been held for far too long. Leonharda whispered, "Most suffering begins with holding what does not belong to us." The mother felt something rise within her too, something heavy she had carried for years without realizing it. In that breath, she felt it loosen. Leonharda then placed her warm hand upon the girl's forehead. "Second breath," she said gently. "Forgive what wounded you." A quiet glow of warmth spread through the snow around them, as if the mountain itself acknowledged the words. The girl's chest rose and fell, first faintly, then with growing steadiness. Forgiveness began to move through her body like a slow river thawing in spring. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not surrendering. It is the gentle untying of a knot, the soft release of a story that has pressed against the heart for too long. The mother felt tears rise in her eyes, not from sorrow but from recognition. She too had wounds tucked into the corners of her life, and now, in this cold air, something inside her loosened for the first time. For the final breath, Leonharda leaned close, her voice softer than snow falling on snow. Third breath, remember who you truly are. In that moment, the valley fell silent. Even the wind paused. The girl inhaled deeply, fully, like someone drinking the dawn after a long night. Her eyes slowly opened, clear and bright, as though she had awakened from a dream, inside a dream. "I remember," she whispered. Leonharda smiled, the kind of smile only those who have walked through their own darkness can give. She helped the girl to sit upright, then turned to the mother, who stared in astonishment and gratitude. "What did you do?" the mother asked. "What kind of magic is this?" "There is no magic here," Leonharda replied. "Only truth." She looked toward the towering silhouette of the Untersberg. The body struggles when the soul forgets its own rhythm. Restore the rhythm, and the body follows. Leonharda stood, her cloak brushing lightly against the snow. "The greatest medicine," she said, "is courage. Courage to release. Courage to forgive. Courage to remember the self you lost along the way." The mother held her daughter close, feeling not just relief, but a new kind of strength, one born not from hope, but from understanding. As they descended the mountain path, twilight softened into starlight. One by one, the stars appeared above the valley, shimmering like silent reminders that even in the darkest night, light is never far. Years passed, and the girl grew strong and wise. Whenever life grew heavy, whenever her breath tightened or her heart felt clouded, she would go outside, lift her face to the open sky, and whisper the three ancient words: release, forgive, remember. And each time she spoke them, she felt the mountains answer. And now, as you breathe in this moment, let the old tale speak to you as well. Ask yourself gently, what am I ready to release? What am I ready to forgive? And what part of myself is waiting to be remembered? For the secret of the three breaths is not ancient, it is eternal, and it belongs to you now and always.
When the tale of Leonharda fades like lantern light at dawn, something remains, something quiet and unmistakable, like the lingering warmth of a healed place inside your chest. For fairy tales, especially the old ones, were never made to entertain the mind. They were made to instruct the heart. And this tale, the tale of the three breaths, whispers a truth many in our modern world have forgotten, that abundance does not begin in the hands, nor in the bank, nor in the world around us. It begins in the nervous system, deep within the soft animal of the body, where breath becomes emotion, and emotion becomes destiny. When the girl released what was never hers to carry, she performed the first act of true abundance. For how can anything new enter a vessel that is already full? How can life offer its gifts to a heart clenched tight around old burdens? Every exhale that frees us is a door opening. Every release is a surrender into spaciousness, and in spaciousness, abundance enters like sunlight finding a window that was always meant to be opened. When she forgave, she reclaimed her freedom. Forgiveness is the wealth few dare to count it, dissolves inner storms, and quiets the nervous system faster than any mantra. It teaches the body that danger has passed, that the past no longer holds the reins. Forgiveness is the nervous system remembering safety, and safety is the soil in which prosperity naturally grows. And when she remembered who she truly was, she stepped into the heart of all abundance. For a person who remembers their essence does not chase, they attract. They do not strive, they emanate. They do not force, they allow. Because their very presence becomes an invitation for life to respond with generosity. You too carry these 3 breaths inside your chest. They are not taught, they awaken. The body knows them. The soul knows them. And when they rise in harmony, something extraordinary happens. The nervous system becomes your ally rather than your adversary. The mind softens. The heart expands. The world begins to shape itself around your clarity instead of your fear. So breathe now, wherever you are. With your first breath, let go of the weight you were never meant to bear. With your second breath, loosen the old knots that no longer tell your story. With your third breath, remember the self beneath all roles, all doubts, all surviving. For abundance is not a treasure to be found, it is a rhythm to be restored. It is the gentle alignment of breath, body, mind, and spirit. It is the wealth that begins in the nervous system and expresses itself through every choice you make thereafter. And just as the girl once looked to the mountains and whispered her awakening, you may look into your own life and feel the truth rising. Release, forgive. Remember, in these 3 movements, you become rich in the only way that matters. Rich in calm, rich in clarity, rich in the quiet, unshakable, knowing that everything you seek can flow toward you when you finally make space to receive it. And so the fairy tale becomes a mirror, a story becomes a doorway, and your breath right now becomes the beginning of your own abundance.